this PNG of Riker and I just had to play with it. Look at him. Look at his little smirky face. Look at his little smirky. He's got the cards. His little Riker smirk. Look at that. That's our sexy main man. Look at that. Look at that Jonathan Frakes sexiness right up there with that beard. We stand our Riker here. All right, let me put him on over there, and we'll get him. I'll jump on stream. I just want to get him in a good spot. Come on, Riker, my boy. Let's have him hang out with Mariner. You know he and Mariner would chill. Actually, I think it's canonical that the two of them chill. Yeah, and I can actually make Mariner. There we go. All right, everybody, let me pop on and pop. Yeah, Riker's a VTuber now. Hello, everyone. Oh, hey, Newt. I didn't know you were hiding back there. Hello, Newt has joined the chat. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Let me know if I need to turn up my volume, play with the volume a little bit. I can futz with stuff. Do a little futzing around. How is everyone doing today? Oh, my hair is sticking up. My hair's sticking up a little bit over there. Ooh, there we go. That's better. It's better-ish. New gaming Abigail, that's awesome. Congratulations on a new gaming laptop. That's awesome. And yes, happy Pride, everyone. Everyone remember, Pride is riot. And that while we celebrate ourselves and we celebrate queerness and being trans and all that fun stuff, Pride is actually meant to be a riot, and fuck the system and fuck people who would harm our community, as well as standing in solidarity with everyone else. So happy Pride, and fuck transphobes, fuck homophobes, and we kick butt because we're amazing like that. I could be a bit louder. I can turn myself up. How's everyone doing? And good to see everyone. I haven't said hello. Vampire Fan 135, Lewis, Miranda. The name is Abigail. Good to see you, Anna, Alexander, NCC 1701, Chris. Good to see you, Don. Good to see you. Who else is here? Sage. Good to see you. I hope everyone's doing good. I am. Yeah, I haven't gone any further. No boom today because I was hoping to stream more. Also, can anyone help me come up with a better title for this stream? I can never. This is the thing I'm bad at with streams because streams are just sort of like chilling. Does anyone have any good ideas for like a stream title? Hitting on aliens in Star Trek. I'm always bad at stream titles. I can never come up with a good stream title. I'm gonna say hitting on aliens in Star Trek. That's what it's like. Hitting on Star Trek aliens for Pride. Hopefully that'll be Galians. Hoping to get Galians. Riker's VTuber debut. Chandler, I'm sorry you're having a rough few days. It's been, I definitely know that. It's been a rough, it's been a rough month. If I'm being frank. Not Babylon 5 the game. Is there a Babylon 5 game? Gendreni? Be Gay Trek Stars. Oh, I love that. I love Be Gay Trek Stars. I love that one. There is a Babylon. Ooh, I'll have to find that Babylon 5 game. That would be kind of fun to play if there's a Babylon 5 board game. But yeah, Chandler, I want to say I hear you because it's been a rough month for me as well. So I hope you're taking care of yourself. So, oh yay, Ginger Meowster is wonderful, Miranda. I love Ginger Meowster. Ginger Meowster is a wonderful human being who I was on Ginger Meowster's stream a few months ago. And I met, I believe he uses he, him pronouns. I'm not sure if he uses he, him, or they, them. I think it's he, him. But I was on his stream a few months ago, and I met him actually there was a Trans Pride event about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, because it wasn't during June, but it was very shortly thereafter, that we met, and he was very sweet and very wonderful. So it was a good time meeting him. So, yeah, Gender Master is the sweetest, is absolutely the sweetest. Yeah, me too, Chandler. I'm really looking forward. Hopefully I'm going to see Across the Spider-Verse this weekend. Either that or I'll save it for my birthday weekend, because my birthday weekend's coming up soon. So I'll be celebrating my birthday in the near future. Oh, Rowan, well, I'm glad you were sticking around for just a little bit. Congratulations. Good to see you. It's good to see you, Rowan. I don't know why I was going to say congratulations, but it's good to see you, Rowan. It's always nice when you stop by, my friend. Mwah. Sending you love. Still a little quiet, Miranda? I can turn up. Yeah, let me know if I need to adjust sound or beef up my noise or anything, especially when the game comes on, too. So when the game goes, let me know if I can turn myself up. If I turn myself up, if I'm that loud, is that too loud? Is that too loud or is that too quiet still? Hopefully that's better. Oh, thank you, SCC. I love this hair. I am so happy with this hair. It's been really cool to have like white hair, especially what I didn't really think about, but it works really well, is when you cosplay. When you do cosplay with the white hair, it makes the cosplay like really stick out. Like I'm doing, you can't really super tell, but this is a TNG uniform I'm wearing right now. So it like makes the white hair like makes the blue pop really, really nicely. So I'm happy with the hair. I think I do need to get the side shaved a little bit more down because there's still the hair sticks out a little bit. But other than that, I'm really pleased with it. I really like the white hair. I think it looks kind of nice. Very Halle Berry Storm. That is not a bad comparison. I love Halle Berry. She is great. So I will take that compliment. Oh, thank you, Don. Oh, Wolf8317, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, as a Trekkie, do you like Elite Force 1 and or 2? Those are by far my favorite Star Trek games. Yes, my favorite Star Trek games are Elite Force 1. I never played 2 because it wasn't available. It didn't work on the computer that I owned at the time I was a kid because it was like an old computer. I didn't have a PlayStation 2, which I think it was on PlayStation 2 at the time. But I did love Elite Force 1. I love the crap out of Elite Force 1. Played it online all the time. And then, like, Hollow Deathmatch was a lot of fun. And then Armada and Armada 2 I loved the crap out of, too, as a kid. So I loved those games a whole bunch as a child. So those are probably my favorites. I need to play Elite Force 2 at some point. I want to do, there's a video that I've been wanting to do for a while where I track down, like, the whole concept. And by the way, thank you so much for the super chat, I should say. There was a concept for a video that I want to do where I get a list of every single Star Trek game ever made and like track down and play them. And when I say track them down, I mean I want to get like the old floppy disks of the Star Trek games and get like computers to play those old like floppy disk Star Trek games, like the text-based adventures that they did. And then also there's like the Star Trek Voyager like arcade cabinet game. And I would see if I could track down a version of that. Like just do a whole video. It would be a lot. It's a video that would take a lot of work to do, which is why I've never like gone about doing it. But I would really love to do a video like that. It'd be a lot of fun to just try and review every single Star Trek game, but kind of make an adventure out of it, where it's like I have to track down and find where a Star Trek Voyager arcade cabinet is, or something like that. Like that would be I think a really fun video to do. Oh, Cappuccino Crafts, I'm sorry that things have been rough. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, it's been rough for me as well. So I hear you. I want to everyone here, heart to you. Oh yeah, Elliot Page's memoir, Page Boy. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to reading that. And then Crochet Tiger, good to see you, my friend. Mwah, love you. You're amazing. But good to see you, my friend. But yeah, no, what was I saying? There was something I was going to do. But yeah, that Star Trek video where I tracked down all the video games, I think that would be a really fun video, but it was like, it's one that I just don't have time for in the near future because of identities and everything. Which, by the way, wait, did I say this last week? Was I able to talk about it last? No, I wasn't. Is this my first time being able to publicly talk about it? I think it is. I'm trying to remember if I've been able to talk about it or not. Can I just say, okay, sorry. I need to rant about this, and I'll probably do a live stream where I talk about the whole cast and everything too, because we're still announcing one person tomorrow. But everybody, John Delancey, holy crap, right? It's wild. I don't want to talk too much about it because we still haven't like officially like started filming. We're not filming until August. But yeah, I've gotten to talk with John Delancey about a script that I wrote, and he's gonna be in my movie. Along with like tons of other amazing people like Jessica Nicole and Maggie Mae Fish. Like, y'all, it's so wild. It's so wild. Yeah, I had to call John Delancey, and he picked up, and I spoke to him, and I will say he was the sweetest human being. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. Where he read my script and he has such like great thoughts about it. And we like had like really interesting, cool conversations about like the ideas that are going on in it. It was really cool to just someone that I've looked up to my whole life, like give thoughtful notes on my script. And I think it's gonna be amazing to get to work with him. As with everybody, like I want to be very clear, like while I am a little like starstruck as a Trekkie working with John Delancey, I am honored by like legitimately everyone in this cast. Like the entire cast is phenomenal and like just as amazing as John Delancey. No one is more amazing than anyone else on that cast. They're all so great. I just, as a particular Star Trek nerd, I think you all understand John Delancey. Holy crap, you know. But they're starstruck, as you say, Lewis. So yeah, it's really cool. We still have one more cast member to announce tomorrow. That will be announced, tomorrow morning. The final cast member that's going to be announced for it. And I cannot say who this person is, but I will say, if you happen to like philosophy, you will be very happily, probably not surprised now that hint is probably a little bit too on the nose. It's probably the best way to put it. But yes, this person is also very cool, and I'm excited to work with that person. That is about all I will say about that other person. But I will not say who it is, even though I probably just gave it away a little bit. Yeah, Lewis. I wonder who it could be. But that person, who I'm not going to name, has been really wonderful and also very thoughtful. I got Sigmund Freud. It's Sigmund Freud, Beardley. I definitely got Sigmund Freud for the film. Yeah. Super Desi, heart to you. So exciting about identities. You deserve all the sex, all the love for you, my friendy. Oh, thank you, Super Desi. I adore you and love you. Thank you so much, my friend. It has been really nice that, like, despite the shitty stuff that has happened over the past few weeks and months, both personally and in the world, to have like this project that I'm working on has been very cool. And I just had a cool idea for it today. Like even I spoke with Aaron, my producer, and I know I'm going to get to Star Trek. I promise you, I'm not going to rant this whole time. But I was even talking today, like there's a music sequence in the film, and I'm trying to reach out to some artists to possibly do a original music, some trans artists to do some original music for the film. Which is wild. It's like gonna have a soundtrack for the film. It's gonna be cool. It's cool. I had VFX meetings this week. Like I had meetings with VFX artists about the visual effects and how to shoot them. It's one of the coolest things to experience. To be like, this is getting to be a director of a thing. I get to make decisions. Like I was sitting in a meeting and people are arguing about like different ways to do our set and like building our set, and I was just watching that, and then I just realized, like, oh, I have to be the one that makes the final decision on this, aren't I? It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it. It's very cool. So I'm very excited about the whole experience. So, anyways, that's about all I should say, because I don't want to talk too much about the film, because I want it to be a surprise and have fun. But as people asking, it's live action. The film animated a live action. It's a live action film. It's going to be shot in live action. I think some people thought it might have been animated because of we had the concept art that we announced the film with, that is used to like promote it on Nebula and stuff like that. But the film is going to be live action. It's not animated. So we have to do all of that. So we're like building a set and all that jazz. It's been a whole thing. Anyways, let's play some Star Trek, everyone, now that I've ranted at all of you for a while. Got a beer. I'm going to tell everyone this. The reason I had to end my stream last week so soon was because I kind of got a little bit too drunk, and then I came back on the stream after I went to the bathroom. I was like, I'm a little bit too drunk for this tonight because I drank too much. So this is the only beer you're allowed to see me drink. Everyone in the chat, if you see me drink more than one beer, yell at me, because I'm not allowed to drink more than just one. Got it? Counting on you. I'm counting on you to yell at me. All right. Also, by the way, look at this. I have my bottle opener is Sting from Lord of the Rings. It's a Lord of the Rings Sting bottle opener. I love this thing. It's very cool. All right. So let me open it. Though to be fair, it's a cool bottle opener, but it's not a good bottle opener. It's like very difficult to actually like get to work very well. I might actually need to go and get another bottle opener, even though this was cool. Maybe I go this way? Is this how I'm supposed to do it? Oh, god damn it. I just made a whole big deal about how cool this bottle opener is, and there we go. Okay. Here we are. Cheers, everybody. Alright. Does Jessie gender look good as blonde or no? I don't need a poll. There's a poll of 1, and that poll is me. That poll is me. Though again, I'm taking a shower after this stream because I need to wash this. I took a shower yesterday, but this hair is just sticking up, so it looks a little bit like mad scientist-y on the side there. Anyways, we ready to play some games? Oh, and thank you, Neil. I'm so thrilled for you. I found your first Trek content and linked to your Babylon 5 post, and your transfer videos touched me very personally. Oh, thank you very much, Neil. Heart to you, I adore you. Okay. See, let's play some games. All right. And this is where Spock. So, just to recap for everybody, the story, since we're jumping in the middle of this game's story. We are on the ship, the Resolute, which just recently had a few crew members die under the captain's watch. And we are the new first officer that has come on board the ship. And the captain has asked us to question him and always speak our mind to him. But then when we did speak our mind in a crisis situation, it was against his orders, and we took charge and we just chose against. That was the choice I made, to choose against him, and it saved some crew members. But the captain was a bit angry with us for that. And then we also have a character called Hernandez on the lower decks, who is a engineer who is doing his lower decks best, just being a sweetheart. And we've been sent out on a mission to go negotiate with this planet. I forget the exact details. I'm sure we'll get a reiteration of the planet's, like what's going on with the planet. And we're sent to pick up a ambassador who, surprise, surprise, turns out to be Spock himself. So that is the quick refresher on it. Oh, and also the first officer character, I forget her species name, but she has to take a certain chemical every few hours, or else it could cause her to have a medical problem. Kind of think of akin to she's a diabetic who needs to take insulin every so often. And there's one bridge crew member, I think the science officer, but I don't remember for sure, who's kind of a dick about it. But we'll sort of learn and see more. So yeah, space diabetes. Though obviously, I have family members who have diabetes and suffer from it as well. So definitely don't want to belittle diabetes, because we'll make fun of the word diabetes, but I want to make sure very clearly that that I am not making fun of anyone with diabetes, because I have many members of my family, including my grandparents. Both my grandmothers had diabetes. So I want everyone to know that I understand very deeply. But also saying diabetes is a funny word. So, all right, let us play and meet Mr. Spock. Sadly, not played by Ethan Peck, and sadly not played by Leonard Nimoy. Ooh, by the way, everybody. Oh man, I'm just talking Star Trek with y'all. Everybody, I'm just gonna quick say, I can't say spoilers yet. I'm not gonna be able to release spoilers until, I won't even release spoilers then. But I'm not allowed to do official review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, but I've gotten to see the first 6 episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2. Holy crap, y'all. Episode 2 especially. All of them are solid. I think the premiere is probably the weakest. But Episode 2, I am going to just be very clear. Episode 2 of this season might be one of my favorite episodes of not only modern Star Trek, but Star Trek generally. It is legitimately fantastic. And y'all just prepare yourself for Episode 2, because I adored Episode 2 of Strange New Worlds a lot. And then also Episode 5. Episode 2 and Episode 5 are my 2 favorites of the season so far. 5 for me is a personal taste episode. It's this just hits me in exactly the things I love about Star Trek. Think Spock Amok from last season. But Episode 2, I think, hands down, is one of the best Star Trek episodes I have ever seen. Up there with Measure of a Man good. So that's all I will say, because I don't want to spoil anymore. But yeah, I spoiled everything. All right. Oh, Cypher, thank you for saying I look hot. I know I am sexy, aren't I? I am sexy as fuck. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me a super chat to tell me I look hot. I will take that. I will take super chats for saying I'm hot. Should start an OnlyFans, though. I am worried about what would happen if I did. Not that I'm against sex work. I support sex work, and I'm happy to do sex work. But it'd be an interesting experience, I just would say. And Beardly! Oh my gosh, Beardly, you are always so... Oh, thank you for saying happy... Beardly, thank you so much for your super chats. You are very, 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 very generous, and I thank you so much, and thank you for the birthday, and thank you for the Pride, like, things. I also didn't realize this. I was born during Pride Month. I knew this. I always seem to remember. I'm like, oh, yeah, I was born during Pride Month. Probably is telling of who I am, right? No one takes this stream out of context? Nah, take it out of context. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Step on me, mommy. I am sorry. As my Switch self, I will step on you and then ask to be stepped on. Okay, I'm gonna stop because if this is Star Trek, Star Trek's horny. Star Trek's horny as hell. Who the hell cares? Anyways, also Vera, I saw you here. Speaking of OnlyFans, everyone should go subscribe to Vera's OnlyFans because she is wonderful. Look at his face.
Terra firma, so to speak.
It's actually not a half bad Leonard Nimoy impression. Look at that Mr. Spock face. Live long and thirst. Are we gonna thirst after? I will thirst after Leonard Nimoy at any age.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
It's actually a halfway decent Leonard Nimoy impression. I'm just waiting there with Spock. That's the most. Oh my god. Just awkwardly standing there with Spock.
Welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer.
Carter Diaz.
Oh,
Sir.
Something's up with his head.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer
Yeah,
Diaz.
Diaz got during the incident earlier, he got hit. That's why he has the scar on his face. So there's probably something up with his memory or something like that.
It appears I have you to thank.
Oh, he's
for
on
my
the
safe
Excelsior.
arrival.
That's cool.
Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought
Yes,
we
we
were
Grandpa
prepared for our
Spock.
arrival
Yeah,
in
don't forget, it's only
space.
Spock.
But it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
Oh, I do like an intense ionic
The storm
activity.
has been pretty intense.
Is that, by the way,
There was
is the
an
sound level good?
element That was
Let me know if I need to adjust, if I need to up the sound level or anything, if I need to adjust
most
anything.
unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered.
Something's up with the
It's disrupted
storm.
other systems.
Storm's being
Who
weird.
knows what it might do to a warp
I
drive?
bet you the storm. Here's my guess.
It would seem
Storm is
further
sentient.
investigation is called for.
Take readings.
That's my guess. The
run
storm
some
is
additional
sentient.
diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom
That
of
it's
this.
like part of an
Quite
alien
logical,
species or
Petty
something like
Officer
that.
Diaz.
That's my guess.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock,
Captain Stan Lee.
Excuse me.
I'm
Love
honored
this
to
guy.
have you
I don't
aboard.
even know what his. I don't even know what his
I'd like
actual
to
name
write
is. I'm just
we're
calling
already
him Captain
behind.
Stan Lee. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Captain. Aw, Miranda, well, if you head to bed. Miranda, if you're heading to bed soon, mwah, sending you love, my friend. Miranda, I adore you. Sending you all the love in the world. Thank you, Miranda, for being a wonderful human being and a wonderful person, and I am honored by your presence, and just thank you for being here. As I am honored by everyone here in the chat, and whether you're lurking or you're not just in the chat, if you're lurking, just watching, I want you all to know I adore you and love you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being wonderful human beings, and happy Pride, and yeah, just never forget that you're all loved and adored, and you are just wonderful human beings. So, mwah, sending you love. Also, by the way, Mark Mancini. Mark, is that you, Mark? Is that there's a Mark Mancini in the chat, and I do not know if that is if this Mark Mancini, if you are not the Mark Mancini that I know from growing up, then I'm just sorry for calling you out. But Mark, if that's you, hello. It's good to see you, my friend. Ah, Mark. Good to see you! Hello! Sending you love, my friend! Sorry, everybody. Mark and I used to work at, Boy Scout camp together. And Mark is one of the like sweetest and kindest and also strangest, but in the best way possible, human beings I've ever met in my life. And I adore you. It's so good to see you, friend. I'll send you some love. All right, I don't want to over focus on you because it'll make you feel awkward. But I'm glad you're here. I'm sending you love. All right, back to Star Trek. But sending you love, friend. A provocation. A provocation. Starfleet briefing meetings, my favorite things. I just want a Star Trek game where it's all just meetings. I don't need action.
Ambassador Spock.
Just let's go from meeting to meeting.
Senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But
Captain
legend
Solano.
implies the past tense,
Captain Stanley.
whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
You can be a legend in the present tense.
Didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past.
Awkward.
You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Sorry, I just love me just staying silent and the captain just floundering there. All right, gotta make the captain look good. So but you are a legend. I'll reinforce the captain. Try and make the captain look good. That's my job as the first officer.
There's not an officer in Starfleet that doesn't know of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Fierce? We love some fierce tension. Don't know why I did a Cation Mao.
Lydia and Hotari.
Jesse's just horny for Pride Month, I guess. Sorry if you're probably gonna get all the horny jokes from me tonight. I apologize. I apologize in advance. Or maybe I don't. Maybe you appreciate horny Jesse. Who's to say?
The more advanced species, they made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago.
Okay, so two species, one's more advanced.
The Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there.
Okay.
The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently.
Someone seizing the means of production?
Suddenly and forcefully seized control of the
Someone
mining
seized
operations
and
expelled the Illydians from their system.
The Hotari claimed it. Interesting.
That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation.
The Hotari were the labor force ones?
But the details remain scant.
Sorry,
Communications between all parties have been limited by...
Sorry, I lost track of that. Can I want to make sure I'm gonna re-listen to that because I want to make sure I get this right, because this feels actually like a very political story, because that was them seizing the means of productions there. She never left. Sorry, I just want to make sure I heard that right and make sure I get the species correct. Sorry to reboot it, but it's hard. My brain doesn't remember like names super well. My brain has never been good at names, so I just want to make sure I nail this down and pay attention to this.
Ambassador Spock.
See the captain be awkward again. Sage will enjoy lurking. Enjoy lurking, my friend.
It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome
yes. The captain's awkward.
Aboard.
It's fun.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused
politics
on
in my Star Trek? What?
We're
gonna get into Marxist theory in my Star Trek?
Stuck in the past. You're right,
All right,
Ambassador.
but you are a legend. Okay. All right, let me
You
pay.
are a legend,
Sorry,
Ambassador.
chat. I'm gonna pay attention to
There's
this to
not
make sure I
an
get
officer
the
in
political
Starfleet that
dynamics
doesn't
down
know
here.
of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill
Someone
us in
was on my
details.
Twitter earlier complaining about how when
We got the
communists
basics
ruined
from
Star
Starfleet.
Trek, which was hilarious to
Two
me.
formerly
When did
peaceful
communists ruin the
neighbors are
space
now on the brink of
socialist,
war.
pajama-wearing communist
And the tension
utopia
between
show?
them grows fiercer by the hour.
Okay, let me pay attention here. Okay.
Lydia and Hotari.
Lydia and Hotari.
Illydians are the more advanced species.
Illydians are the
They made
advanced
first
species.
contact with the Hotari over a century ago.
Okay.
This is Tau, the Hotari moon.
Hotari, okay,
It
Hotari,
is rich
less
in
advanced
dilithium,
species.
and for
Quote,
decades,
unquote, less
the
advanced.
Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological
Okay.
resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force.
Okay.
The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently.
Hotari's the labor
The
force.
Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining
So the Hotari, who are the less advanced. Okay, that's what I was. That's what I was confused. Like, why would the Illidians be the ones that control it? Because they were the elites. It sounds
official
like.
story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant.
So the Hotari
Communications between all parties.
So yeah, this sounds like a seizing the means of production story. And yeah, everything humans make is political. We're just making jokes here. So yes, from what it sounds like, the Altari are the rich elites owning the means of production. The Hotari are the labor force that are now seizing the means of production. That's my guess as to what this story is going down. But okay, got it.
Ionic interference.
So my instant inclination is to side with the Hotari, but we'll see how this goes.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that
Good night,
question
Miranda.
may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations.
So yeah, my instant
But it is
inclination.
unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illidian fleet.
Yeah, my
if this
instant
escalates
inclination
to
is to
open
side with
war.
the Hotari here, but
Left unchecked,
we'll see how it all
this
plays out.
conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly,
We're gonna be here like, we want your resources. Or is the Federation gonna come in and be like, we want your resources?
Peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
Oh man. Do I enlighten centrist this, or do I... The game is like... The game wants me to side with the captain, who's the enlightened centrist in this. I don't think this choice matters because I need to know the details of the situation. So I'll play nice with the captain for right now.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to
I'm gonna
accept
stay
a
with the
difficult
captain's side for
compromise.
right now because I don't know the details of the
Made all the more
situation. But
difficult
I feel like
when
once we get into it, the
emotions
Hotari are
flaring
gonna be the
on
ones I
both
side with.
sides,
Is probably my
Neither
guess.
the Illidians or
Just
the
a random
Hotari
guess,
are members
but
of
that's
the
what I'm
Federation,
thinking.
So we can't make them do anything.
I don't hate this Leonard
There
Nimoy
is
impression.
An additional
He's not the same as Leonard. I mean, obviously, no one's gonna be Leonard Nimoy, right?
In the
And it
past,
sucks. This is the hard part with a game like this, right? The actor's job is to imitate Leonard Nimoy. It's different when you're like someone like Ethan Peck or Zachary Quinto, right? Because the understanding is when you have new actors take on the roles, that they can kind of have their own interpretation of it, which is why I love Ethan Peck. I love Ethan Peck Spock a lot. He is not Leonard Nimoy's Spock, but that's okay because he doesn't have to be. But here, this guy's always going to have to measure up to Leonard Nimoy, and he's not going to be like Leonard. He's not going to be Leonard Nimoy. So for me, I will say I don't hate this Leonard Nimoy impression, but I'm not like it's not Leonard. He's always he was never. It's an impossible task. So I'll give it to him. What did he just say about the other?
Certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Yeah. So I guess we're culpable.
So we've already played a part in this.
Yep. Oh wow, I
Unfortunately,
like
that
this.
is
Oh
indeed
man.
the case, Commander Rydick.
We're morally obligated to make
Yes,
this
we
right.
are.
Hold on.
So it is like, oh, America's coming in to take their resources. Interesting. I already like this game's
Given the
setup so
Federation's
far.
involvement in the Illidian dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries
Interesting.
me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has
Oh
done
man,
to our
this
ship,
game is
and the
saying some
ambassador's
things.
shuttle, we have to assume the Illidian fleet.
Yeah,
has
this
had
game is not
problems
subtle
with it
about
as
its
well.
class dynamic story structure because it's literally talking about like the upper decks and the lower decks and the decisions how they affect the lower decks, and the story is quite literally about seizing the means of production.
Correct.
This game is not
Energy
subtle.
anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past, but they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't,
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So So I
Yes.
trust we understand.
It's like
our
my Star Trek
circumstances.
overt and
We're operating on a
village.
strict
Yes,
timetable
yes.
here.
I have anything
We're
but
going to
subtle.
be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Oh. I'm getting to have a private audience with Mr. Spock. Oh.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation.
But I can do shit.
But someone in an unofficial capacity,
Oh, that was
your
not
first
good.
officer, Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
Oh, I get to go
She
behind the
certainly
scenes.
goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander
Oh,
Rydek
Spock
will
tru-
have more luck
Spock,
finding out
trust
what really
me.
happened than we
I think
will.
the reason, Neil, that the first officer is unofficial is that, like, the captain and Spock are, like, the official negotiators. So while clearly I am on a side of the Federation, I am not, like, part of the official talks. Like, I'm not sitting down at the meeting table. So, like, clearly I have a side, but I'm not the one that has to, like, they have to have their guard up and, like, say everything perfectly, too, because I'm not, like, the official ambassador. I think is probably, oh, Christian, thank you so much, Christian Pip. Mwah, sending you support, too. So I think that's what Spock's getting at here.
The interests of the Federation and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Aw, thank you very Mimi. Thank you so much. I'm honored by you saying that. Thank you, Mimi. Sending you love. I'm honored by you saying that very much. Sending you love, my friend. He does kind of, doesn't he, B. Parker? Young whippersnapper. I'm calling him. He still looks Captain Stanley. So, thank you very much, Tech Gamer. My Trill friend. I love the Trill. This girl's my
Mr.
favorite.
Diaz, I
Why
understand
does
you
she
have
look
already
upset?
discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments,
Oh, we getting some
but I do
Vulcan
not
shade?
derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him.
Oh, it's like I don't give
Especially
a
when I have
give
the
a
entirety
crap.
of this
I don't give a
starship
crap.
to
This
concern
Vulcan's like I
myself
don't
with.
care. Oh, I'm gonna be
I'm not the
excited.
chief
I like being the
engineer of
excited
this
lower
shuttle.
decks officer.
The ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
I just like
Then I
playing
will
Diaz
leave you
as like
to
the
it.
very
Go
excited
to
guy. He's
the
like,
after
yeah, I'm
hours
just here to help. I'm really excited to help.
Carry on.
It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
All right, why are you pissed at me?
Even Chobok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit,
Oh, she's upset
And I
because
owe
of
you one.
I saved her life over mine.
you were right to make me go
Hey,
first.
you don't owe me crap. I did what I,
I
had
don't
to
know
do.
what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for.
Yeah, that's what you
But
owe me.
first, we have work to do.
If everyone who has life I saved gave me some Saurian brandy, you know what? I consider that a good deal.
Ready to go?
Yeah. Sanjay, I basically do want to play as Tendi. You know me so well. Also, this is a white haircut, and I like the white. I don't think I'd look good with green, but I do have the Tendi haircut. If I colored this hair green, and then did the green body paint, I would look like a perfect Tendi. Oh, it's tempting. It is tempting. It is very tempting. Anyways.
Set.
I don't want to make. I don't think
Diagnostic.
I don't personally think I'd look good with green hair though. That's the problem. I get to do inane Star Trek tasks. I really love it.
I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
Oh.
She sent me a priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Oh, you talk about how my
I'm
back?
happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up.
She's
because
calling
I
me
would
out.
be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you.
Oh,
All because things went south.
you gotta have
and you're not
faith,
on
my
speaking
friend.
terms.
Faith of the heart.
That
I gotta
just
go with that
isn't gonna
option.
work for me.
You gotta have faith.
really don't believe in
of
me,
the
huh?
heart.
It's not you.
Oh, thank you, Rowan.
Or her. Just running the numbers, and things don't work out
Oh, that's
more
so
often than they do.
pessimistic.
I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
Take the data recorder. Wait. Oh, I was gonna try and. Oh,
They
something's
were
going
only
on.
about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Let's see. I love I can just weirdly tap stuff.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
A
Makes
warp
me think the computer
cascade
panicked
failure.
on the warp field equation.
I love I can just like tap the screen. Look at me, I'm tapping. I'm tapping. I'm fingering the screen. I'm a child, everybody. I am a child. I apologize.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this
Oh, Sean. Sorry, I keep pausing the game. But Sean, you said, what's the upcoming project or video you're most excited about? Okay. So I will tell you this. I have a bunch of videos coming up, but there are three projects that I'm very excited about. Even despite the videos I have coming. The first one that's coming up soon will be my Star Wars video. I have a video that's coming up about Star Wars that'll be coming out probably in July. That number one Aronach is writing about. I think this video is actually one of the best things I've ever written. I think it's an analysis of all the politics of Star Wars and in a deep dive into Star Wars politics that I don't think I've seen anywhere else really. At least on YouTube. It is a 3 to 4 hour video, and not only are we doing this big analysis, Aronach's taking part of it, and Aronach is actually making an animated short film for part of it that'll be analyzing. That'll be like sort of a commentary on what we're analyzing, so it has an animated short film in it. And I'm also getting an original song made for it, I think, depending on how much money I'm able to spend. Support me over on Patreon if you want to be able to support me being able to do original songs for this. But I think I might be getting an original song made for it as well. So I'm very pumped about that video. Then Identities, which y'all, I'm so pumped for Identities. That's the film that I'm making. I've already ranted about enough in this live stream, but y'all, I'm so excited for this. Like, I was walking around last night listening to some of the music that I get into the vibes to think about the film for, and I'm just... Directing this thing is a dream come true. Like, even if I never get, like, if after Identities comes out and my career, like, tanks and, like, my channel gets deleted and, like, the worst happens, I will feel like I have accomplished something in my life that feels meaningful, because this project just means the world to me. I get to work with cool people, and I'm making this thing that is just so special to me. And hopefully it'll lead to even more things that I get to do, like working on Star Trek or something, but even if it doesn't, I will have made this thing that makes me so proud, and I'm so excited for that. Then I should say, since you asked, Sean, there's another video that I just wrote that is a video that is one that that I'm trying to aim to get out by the end of the year. That is called Queer Liminality. That'll be about like queerness, get to like try and talk about the heart of what like queerness means in our society today from my point of view. And it's a video that I've written the first draft for, and it made me cry while I was writing it. It'll be a very difficult video, but what I'm really proud of. And then I'm also working on the Deep Space Nine video. That's the one I'm working on right now too. That's the one I'm currently writing. And the Deep Space Nine video, I am very pumped for that because that one I've written about like 15 pages of that, and a lot of it's about Sisko and how I think Sisko might be one of the deepest captains that we have in Star Trek, because I think there's so much to him, especially if you look at his character through a queer lens. Not saying that Sisko is queer, but talking about Sisko and Deep Space Nine generally through this lens of what does it mean to think about Deep Space Nine through the lens of people who exist on the fringes of society or are seen as not like the ideal part of a system, but still are able to be their best selves, to exist as their best selves even when the system does not value them as much. And Deep Space Nine as a show is about that to a degree, and Sisko I think embodies that to a degree in so many ways. Both in terms of the character, Avery Brooks as a black man in Star Trek, who I'm talking to a bunch of black folks to talk about that character as well, and so many other things with the character as well. The history of the show as well, behind the scenes and in front of the camera. I'm very excited for that video. So like those are the fourth projects that I'm really excited about. The Deep Space Nine video, Queer Liminality, Identities, and Star Wars. Honestly, if I could just work on those 4 projects, if that was all I could work on for the rest of the year, I'd be happy. Sadly, I have to do more than that just because the algorithm and all that jazz. So I'll be doing other videos that I'm still like, I'm not gonna make a video I don't like, but those 4, like those are the ones I'm like, those are where I'm putting all my energy into, because those are the ones that I feel are something special. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Oh yeah, you're gonna get a Garrick and Bashir breakdown. Don't you worry, Beardley. There will be a Garrick and a Bashir breakdown in that video. Don't you worry about it. Oh, Christopher. And by the way, I should say I'm not to be that person, but I will. I've been told I need to be better at promoting myself. I hate doing it, but I will say if you want to support any of those, Patreon's there. Huzzah. And that's all I'll say that because I hate promoting myself. And Christopher, have you played a game called Coffee Talk? I think its views of love and acceptance would be right up your alley. I have heard of Coffee Talk. I have not played it. But I have heard of Coffee Talk. I do want to play it at some point. So, all right, back to the game.
Happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a vault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Okay, so cracked warp coil. Ugh. Let's see.
Subspace variants.
Oh, James is great. I adore James Tyson in the who's cast to play one of the characters in Entities. Yeah, James is wonderful. I'm actually having a meeting with them on Monday, because I'm having meetings with some of the cast members next week. Starting to do individual rehearsals with cast members for the characters, like talk about the characters. So I'm meeting with James on Monday to talk about it. So yeah. DBNX1701, Jesse, it's okay for you to talk about black people though you're white. Oh, it's not that big a deal. No, so here's the thing with that. Like, yes, I do think it's okay for me to talk about, like, I can still talk about Sisko and stuff like that, but it is also important for me, especially if I'm going to talk about a Sisko fully. I cannot speak to the entirety of his character from... I cannot talk about Sisko, what Sisko means to a black person, because I am not black. I can talk about Sisko and talk about what he means generally and different things like that from listening and analysis and stuff like that, but it's important for me, if I'm going to write a video about Deep Space Nine, that I go and talk to people who he directly affected through his representation, right? So it's like, yes, I am certain that I can analyze stuff about Sisko's blackness and write about that 100%. That being said, number one, when I do write that, I get sensitivity readers who can check me and say, Jesse, you fucked this up, or you're wrong, you're missing this nuance. That's the importance of sensitivity readers. And then 2, it's important to be listening and studying and analyzing, and also bring those voices into the conversation, right? So I'm not saying I can never talk about Sisko because I'm a white person. No. But it's also important for me as a white person to realize that there are going to be things that I'm probably going to miss or not know about or not know all the nuances of because of the perspective that I come from and just the background I come from. That's not a bad thing. That's a cool thing, actually. It's cool to realize, hey, I don't know everything about this thing. And it's so awesome to go to someone else and say, can you share with me your perspective? It's not, people tend to think that it's a bad thing. Oh, I'm a terrible, I feel like I can't talk about it. It's no, it's about creating conversations. And it's about being intrigued and fascinated by other people's experiences and perspectives. It's not to say, oh, I shouldn't or can't talk about these things, but to say, isn't it cool that I don't know everything because of my perspective? And my perspective is unique and awesome, but my perspective is also limited. And I want to go to other people to learn from them and to see their perspective. I think that that's a cool thing, and I think it's a necessary thing. It's one of the best things that I really think that is one of the coolest things that I'm starting to see in a lot of YouTube video essays recently, is that a lot of YouTube video essays are bringing in more voices. And you see a lot of creators having conversations with people. You know, as much as, do not get me wrong, I love like a video essay from a single creator talking about an issue, and they like written this whole thing, and they've talking about, like, I love those videos. Like, you know, I grew up on that stuff, like, you know, ContraPoints, or, you know, all these other creators, you know, but one of the biggest evolutions that I really love to start to see in the video essay style is the conversation that happens. Because if you look at stuff like movies and film, one of the most beautiful things about film is that it's a collaborative effort. And yeah, there may be like a director or someone who like guides the vision of a film. This is something I'm learning in Identities. It's like, one of the cool things that I'm learning about Identities is like the people that are working on my film right now are going off and having their own meetings and conversations that I'm not even involved in. Like, they're having conversations and meetings without me, and then come to me with stuff. And they make creative choices that I am not privy to, that they come to me as like, hey, do you like this idea? But there's conversations between them to get to that idea. And that's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to see that art is made up of so many other people than just a single person. And I think that that's an amazing thing. And I think that that's a beautiful part of that I'm starting to see in the evolution of video essays. So I would say to everybody, if you're looking for like what I hope is the next evolution of video essays, it's that aspect of bringing in more voices into the experience and the creation of it, and the essay part of it. So I think that that's a really cool thing. In fact, to the point where we're gonna have to see if rights will allow me to do this, but somebody I want to talk to. Want real conversation with other races, so if you're using sensitivity writers, you're not being yourself. Okay. DB, I don't want to get into this whole conversation, but it's important to have sensitivity. What sensitivity writers do are not telling you not to be your own self. What sensitivity writers do, if they're being a good sensitivity reader, is they're not rewriting what you wrote. They're reading what you wrote and saying, hey, you might want to think about this, or hey, I noticed this. Here's something you may not realize about that, or why this might be offensive. So they're not telling you not to be yourself. They're poking you. A good sensitivity writer is poking you to think about something that you have not thought about, is generally what I would say. So yeah, sensitivity writers are not overriding your voice. They're poking you to think harder with your own voice, right? Is the distinction with a sensitivity reader. And it's not a sensitivity writer, it's a sensitivity reader, by the way. It's different. Yeah, I think that was there was something else. There was some other point that I was building towards, but I forgot it. So, yeah. It's not to say that you can never talk about another perspective that isn't your own. But if you are going to talk about a perspective that isn't your own, it is on you to learn from that perspective. And to do so is to mean to talk with people from that perspective, right? So,
what does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
Sabotage?
Caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it sabotage time?
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array?
I'll check the navigation array, because if we're going... Because the warp coil being cracked feels like it would just have been a thing that happened. But the navigational array seems like that would be the thing that would have been sabotaged. So I want to take the navigational array because that feels like...
One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the navigation array.
Ooh, I get to use a everybody, I get to use a tricorder. Alright, equip or holster your tricorder and R2 to scan. You must be close to some objects to scan. Why did that kick me out? What just happened? What in the world? I didn't. You all saw me. I did not quit that. Do I have to redo that whole bit? Oh, that's annoying as all hell. What in the world was that about? The game just glitched on me. What? Yeah, talking about sabotage. That's weird. Oh, that's annoying. Well, let's chat for a little bit while I get back to the bug in the game. That's annoying. Well, while that's going on, let's just chat. I will make the same decisions, and we'll get back to where we were. Got 6 and so. Oh, home Solari, I hope you're taking care of yourself. So, yeah, the faulty navigational rate sent me back to the menu. Bad UI problem. Return. Oh, that's weird. Why would they have the return to menu button be the tricorder button? That was really, yeah, that's a bad design problem. I mean, can I skip?
Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern
Anyways, Ferengi malware. This is what happens when you let a Ferengi run your games, you know.
You could learn.
Too many Ferengi are running our video game companies, like Bobby Kotick, which by the way, did you see like Bobby Kotick's interview recently? Like he gave this really shitty interview about like, there's no systemic problems at Activision Blizzard, and you know we didn't try to do union busting. I know what you're talking about, and it's just the bad reporting. He's doing the whole very like Trumpian thing. Yeah, it was such a terrible interview. Like screw Bobby Kotick. Like ugh. And it really makes me angry. Like people are talking. Sorry, this is gonna be the one thing that annoys people. But like, God, I really do like. It sucks. Like I want the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard to go through because that'll mean like Bobby Kotick's out. But I don't want Bobby Kotick to get all the money that he's gonna get. And then also it's like the centralization of so many game companies under like Microsoft and stuff. It's just really disappointing. The older I get, the more I'm starting to find less and less like big budget games that I really love. There are still a few. Like I loved recently, what was the recent big budget game that I just finished playing? Jedi Survivor I enjoyed pretty decently, and stuff like that. But overall, I'm just finding the bigger budget games just don't speak to me as much. Cisco's handling editing. Did he overdo it? Oh yeah. Kuroki 211. I actually really, people hate on Michael Eddington. People hate on Michael Eddington. I actually like Michael Eddington. I don't think the Maquis are always right, but I have a certain affinity for the Maquis. I kind of like the Maquis quite a bit, more so than Picard and Cisco do. And yeah, I think Cisco went way too far in his pursuit of Eddington, because he had like a personal vendetta against Eddington. And I think that's an interesting choice. Like, do not get me wrong. Like, just because I disagree with Cisco does not mean that I don't think that Cisco is a bad character. I liked that episode with my Cisco and Eddington. I like that story a lot with the two of them. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree with Cisco. It's an interesting choice. Did you see Black Mirror's USS Callister? What do you think? Oh, by the way, art to both of you for that super chat. Love USS Callister. Such a weirdly prescient, like that movie, that episode of Black Mirror is so good because it understands the way that like toxic figures utilize nostalgia to talk about like controlling people, right? Like that. I want to. If you have not seen USS Callister, it is so good because what it is talking about is about how these like men in power often like have this nostalgia for the past. Because the past is often about like, oh, these certain roles and people get to be subjugated to me in this like sort of fantasy realm. And so you see a lot of toxic fandoms crop up around like Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff because like there's this like fantasy that these like guys who have sort of fallen into what I talked about in my masculinity video that's like, I want to be the head of the Matrix sort of thing, that like Andrew Tate sort of vibe. You know, they sort of have this like wanting to like recreate that, and they sort of have this fantasy through nostalgia to do that. I think the USS Callister does a great job of understanding that. And talking about that in such a kind of a cool way, like weirdly like it still speaks to today. Yeah, it's a very, very good episode.
I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up.
All right, I'm sorry, I gotta go back through all this.
If you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between
Me too, Chandler. I am also thinking about, if you want me to talk about nostalgia of Rareware before the Microsoft acquisition.
And I know
I meant to say have faith. Oh well, I made a slightly different choice. Poisoning plants and did fire at a fire cruise. That's a totally fair assessment. I don't necessarily think I agree. I think Cisco went too far in poisoning a planet of innocent people. So I think that's where Cisco went too far. But I understand the argument. So, but yeah, I want to get a tattoo of Banjo-Kazooie tattoo really badly. Like really badly, I want to get a Banjo-Kazooie tattoo at some point. Like that's how much I miss. That's how much I miss the old Rareware games. So. Oh, have a good night, Neil. It was good seeing you. Oh. All right, let's see. Data recorder. All right, let's do this guy again. I wish I could skip this. This is annoying.
No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Warp cascade failure.
Wow, they're lucky the shuttle.
Yeah, there is a Gollum game. Sadly, that's another game that sadly got hit with like people probably rushing it out too soon. Because I wonder if the Gollum game would have been not so bad if they had actually not been like forced to crunch on it and get it out quickly. It sucks. I would love to see I kind of want to play the Gollum video game once it's been patched and stuff, because it's like, I'm here for I have a Lord of the Rings tattoo on the shoulder. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and also like, I'm here for a video game about a weird little guy. Who doesn't want to have a video game where you just play as like just a weird little guy? Like that's like, I don't know, that's just a fun little weird concept for a game. But yeah, sadly it was rushed out, unfortunately. What are you gonna do? So.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I agreed. Where's my jetpack? Because he became Javert in that episode.
So here, they take a
quite literally, intentionally, like they quite literally do that. So.
There. That's the relays blowing.
All right, let's do this again, and hopefully not fuck up the game this time. All right, now we're back here. I do have a PS5. I'm actually playing with the PS5 right now.
Then it's one of two.
Thank you, Incrustate Tiger. I do look hot with blonde, don't I? I look really sexy with blonde.
That makes
sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the.
All right, let's try this out again, and this time not
I'll check the
accidentally go to the frickin'.
Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the navigation array.
All right. Let me not go back to the main menu this time. Okay. Yeah, why would that be an option? It's weird that there's an option to return the main menu from that screen. That's weird. All right, so let's see. So I guess I gotta go here. Some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use L1 and R1 to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder to blink if there's an object to find in that mode. When you have scanned all objects, the frame will change color, holding L2 to analyze the data on finished scan. Okay. Also, yeah, why would you design the UI this way to have me go back to the main menu from the pop-up screen? That's such a weird design choice. It's very weird. Which character would you most likely have a dinner with, and why is it Riker and Quickie in the bathroom? I mean, you already answered it. Why wouldn't it be Riker and a Quickie in the bathroom? And I wouldn't be a bathroom. I wouldn't want... Like, I don't want a Quickie in the bathroom. If I'm gonna be with Riker, I want to have, like, candlelit dinners. Hopefully not candle ghost dinners. And, like, we, like, just have, like, a nice dinner. You know, Riker takes me back to his bedroom. He treats me like Ensign Rowe in that one episode. That's the way I would like to go for a night. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why am I running over here? Okay. Okay. Ooh. No physical damage detected. Shells are vulnerable to backscatter insurance field tonight. Let's say instantly your ships finally start functioning normally. Those all look normal. There's no bioscans. Is that it? Okay. Looks like I got everything.
Navigation array checks out, so it
Oh,
must be
I
a
thought it was
coil.
gonna be the navigation array.
Except it's not.
Interesting.
Checked and double checked.
Well, the readings
Interesting.
don't lie.
Interesting.
Here comes the
A
security.
quickie with
control
Riker's
delay
like
team.
10 hours. Yeah. Oh, there's my girlfriend.
Hey,
I'm not here.
Awkward moment.
we're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
Aww.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
Now that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey,
Aww.
Maris. Aren't these those
Wow,
you're
yeah.
always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares.
Ah, Parisi Squares. That's a Star Trek thing.
Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines where the warp drives
Drives of
their
the
day
day.
part.
They were though.
Catch y'all later.
Trills. The Trill.
Don't want to miss your train.
The Trill's just like, what are steam engines? I'm from Trill. I don't know what steam engines are. I'm also just saying Miranda is cute, but I'm here for the Trill girl. The Trill is much. The Trill girl is much more my wavelength in terms of who I'm attracted to.
Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More important things.
Ooh, should I do it? Should I do it? Screw it, go for it. Aww. Duh.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
I'm pulling a Riker.
We've got a deal.
Got some straight lower decks Riker swag going on.
Be seeing you.
Aww. Oh, Mimi, thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you. What, hard to. Why Americans think they are the best in the world. Scandinavian countries are always better in every sense. We have free healthcare and trans healthcare is free like it should be. Agreed, Mimi. I mean, it's American exceptionalism, right? A lot of America is built on this idea like Americans are better and different, and sort of that like nationalist tendency that we see now being taken advantage of for fascism, like being grown in our country, quite literally. Like fascism is sadly and scarily growing in our country right now, and it's stemming from this nationalism that is excelled or propelled on that sort of idea of American exceptionalism, that Americans are different, that Americans are better, which is not true. Nationalism in any form is bullshit because it's about people. People tend to think that we exist for nations when really, if we like, nations themselves are kind of an annoyingly bullshit concept. But in an ideal form, governments and nations should be there to facilitate for the people, right? But obviously that's not how others view it, right? So that's how you get fascism and things like that. Also sped up by capitalism and fun things like that. It's good times. It's good times. But yeah, Mimi, with you all the way.
Diaz, if you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go.
Oh. Look, I was just getting
All right,
some. Why do you
we're-
gotta be like that? Why you gotta be like that?
Warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of
Riker respects women more. That's the difference, Kuroki. 2-1-1.
the shuttle from Baxter.
Bellamy, good to see you!
Wanna take
Oh,
this
heart,
out
my
of the shuttle
friend.
and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it.
Oh, getting some hands
Okay,
on.
the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Let's see. Let's see what we missed here. Let's do some investigation.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence.
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong
This is
enough
some
to cause
technobabble
collapse
bullshit, and I love it.
graviton ripples for days.
Graviton ripples for days. That's a great line. That's a great line. Graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now.
This is some
Roll forward to the shuttle's
technobabble
engaged
bullshit, and I love
We
it.
need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results.
Oh, I gotta hate it when we gotta hate when it's not orthogonal, you know?
What if we use a different ship?
But the
Oh, thank you, Amanda. The ideas kind of just, it's hard to explain where ideas come from because it's just stuff that I sort of surround myself with. As you can clearly see, like, there's this pile of books here. I read a lot. So a lot of my ideas are just, like, just things that I'm exposed to for video. So it's just, like, what I generally tend to do is I read a lot and I pay attention to the news a lot and I see what's sparking me, and I also tend to follow my emotions. So if there's something that, like if there's something in the news that's hitting me emotionally, or something I've read that's really resonating with me and stuck with me, I'll write it down, and then I'll write down other ideas, and I just sort of take notes on a bunch of stuff and then see what sort of, like, what hits me. So, like, for example, the masculinity video, that came out, as I said at the beginning, that video came out of kind of where we were talking about with, like, that video came out of, like, seeing Andrew Tate get arrested and the discussion of, like, manosphere and Andrew Tate stuff going on at the time, and then also my own experience going back home and finding those posters in my mom's basement. And those two ideas, like, were just sort of, like, emotionally resonating with me, and they sort of came to me at different times, and then they kind of combined, and I was like, oh, here's the thing that I want to talk about, right? I'm trying to think of, like, other good examples of different videos. Like, it really depends on kind of, usually it's the collision of two or more different ideas, and just sort of, like, sitting with feelings about stuff that I'm feeling at the moment. Is generally what will come up, and then I'll come up with an idea, then I'll start taking notes on it as I go through and thinking about it more and more. Like, a video that I'm ruminating right now is a video about the connection between anti-Semitism and transphobia, and going into the history of, you know, how anti-Semitism connects to transphobia. And I want to work with some Jewish folks to write that video as well. But it's a video I'm still researching, and I'm in the phase right now where it's like I'm not sitting down and writing, but I'm sort of like just reading some stuff, encountering some things, and then, like, taking notes of, like, what I would want to say, sort of things. So it really kind of depends on that.
Yeah.
So
it should warp just fine, unless. Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Warp pressure is destabilized. Error in warp field calculation.
Interesting.
The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
oh, we can't.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Oh shoot! Oh shoot, son! We're stuck here. I'm sure that will not come up at all. Ooh, fancy smancy. All right, we're attending the rich people's world is what we're on here now. Time for some Star Trek negotiation BS.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are
Okay, so the Hotari are the Seas the
My
Means
name
of
is
Production
Tyler
folks.
Sotaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
I like these people.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, First Officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Lydians.
Let's keep it individual.
It's very nice to meet you.
Likewise. I hope...
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation.
Oh, we're gonna be besties. I'm gonna be friends with her, I bet.
Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen.
I'm here on the hotel.
But either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Heroes of the Revolt. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, here's our pretentious douche nozzles. Yeah, clearly some animosity.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
Oof, I already do not like these people.
If you'll excuse me.
Oh, we do. Yeah, there's some classist nonsense going on here.
I think we're about to begin.
Yeah, this is some class nonsense here. Oh, I am all here with Hotari.
From that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here. But that guy was something.
He certainly seems full of himself. No missing that. You could probably see it from orbit.
What a piece of work.
Remember,
Captain Stan Lee is just like, this guy is such a douche. And he's like, Captain, like, I agree with you, but like, tone it down a little bit. Jesus Christ.
we must remain deferential whenever possible.
Of course, but even that has its limits.
I don't disagree with the captain, but like, goddamn, man, tone it down as like a negotiator a little bit. I do not disagree with you, but like, time and place. that whippersnapper. Ah, you damn kids! On my lawn, doing your seizing the means of production. I loved it. What did the farmer say with his lost tractor? He said, "Where's my tractor?" Ha! Ooh. I'm trying to think if they like appreciate strength or deference. Hotari, you know, show deference. Show deference. Yeah. These aren't Klingons.
Ambassador Spock, welcome.
These are worker class people. We show respect to each other.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation
working class was still a ruler, but still.
Respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we?
Oh, God,
with all due
like
respect
people.
to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining...
Quinox 1018, thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you, my friend.
operations to Lydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be
Ooh,
silenced.
I like her. I like her so much.
Point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter?
Spock?
Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
Ooh, I like her a lot.
Interest is the
Oh, we stan this queen.
Conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I get the sense she's cut from the same cloth as Galvin.
No?
I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Yeah, the captain's a pretty Captain, you need to learn to shut your mouth, my dude.
She's not
She can speak for herself, can't she?
Oh, we stand you. I love you. Yeah, yes, yes, Queen. I mean, Your Eminence, yes. Rare example of a queen being a queen. Yes, I love it. I love it.
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek. Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians.
Fair.
Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much for the super chat, Alexandria. Yes, live long and seize those means of production.
Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elidians.
Yeah.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us.
They were seizing the means of production from your, like, capitalist butts.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Yes, eat the rich. Yeah, we eat the rich here. Sorry.
If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it?
Screw it. I want to be. So I'm gonna play Hernandez. The lower decks guy is just excited go lucky. I'm playing Jara. I'm gonna play Jara as like I'm going to just say what I want to say. Like she's like I take no nonsense. I just say it straight. Like that's how I'm gonna play her. Might get me in trouble with Spock and everything. Fuck it.
If the opportunity presented itself.
Saying what I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna enlighten centrist this bullshit.
If the opportunity presented itself. For the sake of the Kobliad. We suffered enough.
Of course you would. It would be foolish to do otherwise. The Federation...
Spock's just like, what the fuck you doing, man? So much for neutrality.
We have an abundance of dilithium in our minds. And it's in your interest to secure a steady
Yeah, we're definitely the colonialists in this metaphor.
As a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
Ooh. Oh man, how do I straight shoot this one? Because, like, dilithium is indeed a factor. That's not a lie. But we do want peace. But if I say that, is she going to call bullshit on me? Because I do want peace. Fuck it. Let's just go honest. Let's just go honest. We're going to say we want the dilithium. We're here to extract your... Screw it. Straight shooter. We're going to do it. We're going to say the inconvenient thing.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other.
Spock's face! I love Spock's face! He's like, what are you doing, girl? What the hell? I love it.
That's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Elidians for decades, I would agree.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
Yes, Spock's like, fascinating?
It's a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without
Why do we need you?
Elidian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone. Especially the Hotari.
Yeah, capitalist nonsense.
We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered.
Yeah, Xbox like, perhaps it was unwise to invite this one. I'd rather Kirk.
That is enough of your lies. The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau?
Oh boy.
Who should the Federation recognize?
Oh boy, you're just forcing this right now.
Hotari or the Elidians?
Yeah, go tell the Remans who benefit the dilithium trade head.
Only be one or the other.
Well.
Not both.
Hotari it is.
If I have to choose only one.
Ha! Hotari pride, love it.
It would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
mines.
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred. We will take back our mines by any means necessary.
I recognize that voice. I recognize that voice actor.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as
Yeah,
well.
I'm wondering why Spock didn't jump in earlier.
I suggest
Like I said, I'm speaking my mind.
Conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
And not this gal. Sorry, I thought that you would be perfect for this. I fucked up.
I suppose there is some sense to that.
I probably could have timed out and said nothing, but screw it. I'm with the Hotari all the way. Screw the Illidians. Until they give me some reason to be on their side, like the Illidians can go screw themselves.
I hope we meet again, Jara Ryder.
Yes, Queen. Oh, we stand this Queen so hard, everybody. Yeah, Captain Stanley is like, the fuck. Captain Stanley is not happy. He is not going Excelsior.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari
Yeah, right?
is so willing to
It is
risk
kind of weird they let them do that, Read M10.
what happened in those mines.
Alright, let's see how much I pissed off everybody. Like I said, yeah, you dropped this, Pete Parker. Like I said, my character is, I'm someone who just speaks her mind. Ooh, look at the water. Alright, let's see.
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Illidians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
The Hotari.
Oh, Carlisle, hope you're doing well, my friend. Mwah. Hello, friend. Just got back from a date night. Oh, I hope your date night was really wonderful, Carlisle.
At the hands of the Illidian.
I couldn't agree more.
I assume you were there the day the mines were seized from the Illidians.
Not seized.
Reclaimed.
Reclaimed.
Hell yes.
And restored to their rightful owners.
Oh, man.
Yes.
We love the Hotari here.
We had to be decisive. Before the Illidians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
Did you have help from someone else?
Hotari stands alone against the Illidian forces. We don't need help from anyone. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain...
Solidarity, hell yeah.
Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Illidians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
It wasn't designed as a warship.
Yeah, be
More
truthful.
for scientific research and exploration.
But the Federation must have ships designed for...
We designed some Borg fighting ships.
Technically, they're Starfleet ships representing the Federation. But yes.
I see.
Yeah, it's always a Romulan plot, super dizzy. Yeah, I bet you there's some Romulans going on here.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
I like this dude. Like all the Hotari. I'm just down with the Hotari, generally. Alright, let's go talk with the capitalists. I mean the Illidians. Let's see how they talk about this.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality.
Yeah, screw neutrality. Being neutral is always siding with the oppressor.
Why you would choose to side with the Hotari?
Because being neutral is siding with the oppressor.
Without Illidian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. But clearly, you weren't aware.
Of all my concerns, dilithium is not one of them. I could care less about securing a supply.
Oh, I love this. Being a playthrough of this after catching a bit of your first statement, my mission to Jara to tell the captain he's full of it and do what I feel is right when I think his orders are wrong. Hell yeah, Carlos. In a file, we speak truth to power. Hell yeah. Already finished the game. Nah, no Romulans. Dang it. Dang it. You're getting Major Picard vibes from this guy. Yeah, I really hope they aren't doing that. Yeah, Battle Maiden. I really hope that that's like Hotari are actually evil. I really hope that that's not where this goes, because I'll be kind of pissed about it.
Or in the future.
It would be an MCU move of them. If they do that, I will be kind of pissed at this game.
I'd be curious to know if the rest of the Federation shares your indifference. Major Solid Arminta, Special Attaché, Elydian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander.
We're gonna be shooting at each
I
other.
have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity.
And the means of production.
Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
I hope you're well
Yes,
too, James.
very
Mwah, sending you
convenient
love.
anomaly. At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
Maybe they figured out the ion storm was coming and they did it in advance.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of
I hope that the
entire
ion
region,
storm
which
isn't
was
like
thousands
them
of
having
miles?
done some like terrible stuff
I've
or
talked
something.
to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy.
I really hope it's not like the Hotari are actually
I know
evil.
it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
Yeah, Shinzan. I hope we don't start. Please, let's not Star Trek Nemesis this or Remans this.
If you'll excuse me.
I really hope that this game does not like do the Remans. I mean, so far this game seems to have a good understanding of class dynamics. So I feel like I'm getting good vibes from this game, but we'll see.
Of course.
I'm encouraged to see the Federation supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
The Elydians have no right to your land. It was clear which side was more deserving of our recognition.
It's so different to have someone on our side.
Oh, I like her a lot.
Unusual times, to say the least. Much is changing. I saw you speaking with the Elydian. I'm sure they're painting themselves as the victims.
The Elydians are under the impression the Hotari are somehow the cause of the ion storm.
Which I'm sure they attribute to our lack of experience or sheer inferiority.
Yep.
But we are as much the victims of this horrific storm as they are. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Calvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
Interesting. What would be interesting is if the Hotari are right, but the leaders of the revolution are like problematic figures, where it's like we have to come to understand that like while these revolutionary figures are problematic, the Hotari's point of view is still absolutely correct of fighting their oppressor. That would be a really nuanced way to take this story, where it's like, hey, just because these revolutionaries did some fucked up shit does not mean like the Hotari themselves as an oppressed class deserve to be continually oppressed, because it's like one of those like demanding perfection from the people who are being oppressed. And it's like, yes, we can punish the people for doing possibly like fucked up shit, does not make their cause overall incorrect, like their overall cause. That would be an actually nuanced and like really cool story to go down. And actually I kind of hope that that's what they do, that these like national heroes that she's having hesitation around, like maybe the ion storm is like they did some fucked up shit with the ion storm, but that does not necessarily mean that the Hotari deserve to be like continually still oppressed. That would actually be, I would like that story. That would actually be like an interesting way to discuss this story.
You don't exactly trust them.
They're miners, not diplomats. I don't trust their instincts, which are leading us to war.
Interesting.
My fear has been that the Illidians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid.
Interesting.
I just don't know what they're afraid of.
Maybe they were. Maybe the.
It's still the same bluster.
Ooh, maybe the Aldirans were the ones doing some fucked up shit that the miners just took advantage of. That would be even more interesting too. Ooh, there's so many interesting possibilities here.
But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Do you think it has something to do with the ion storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
I do see some potential. I hope it doesn't both sides it.
I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Illidians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference.
Yeah, hopefully this story doesn't both sides it.
Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
What do you think it is?
I've heard rumors of some
You need to look for
sort of
some
artifact,
Kelpians.
but I haven't seen it myself.
How can we know?
I'd better see what's happening.
Yeah, this is great. So far, this is great. This game has the
find out
potential
what they're
to say some messed up things, but also has some potential to say some good things.
I need to see proof of something before I can make my case.
I hope
to the
I hope this
Federation.
is gonna go well.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know.
Abigail, I need to finish Ocarina of Time. I still have the game down there. I need to finish it.
This. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Yeah, give me some
Thank
info.
you. I will let you know what I find. And
I made a
look forward to meeting
bestie.
again.
I made a bestie, everybody. All right, let's see. All right. Let's see, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Where's the captain? Do I go back to the main room? Oh man, I wish I could run. Oh, this is annoyingly slow. Why do I have to slowly walk through this room? Also, it's kind of weird that this... Okay, I was gonna say, it's kind of weird that this planet is just sort of like a white box sky.
Such rough terrain. No wonder the Hotari are so tough.
Call this rough terrain? This seems actually relatively pretty. Anyways. Slowly walking. Okay, there we go. Jeez, that took forever.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Illidians stormed out.
Hell yeah. Screw the Illidians.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
The Hotari would hope they would be on their side. And you know what? Frankly, good. Yeah, they don't look good like good running shoes.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship,
Appreciate continuation. Oh, I do need to finish the Ocarina streams at some point. I still have the game down there. It's like still plugged in here, so
Space itself.
maybe after I finish this, at some point I will.
You're saying something about this region of space?
Once this Star Trek game finishes, the Expanse video game, there's coming out with an Expanse video game, which I'm also going to stream at some point.
Warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
But that would be the most likely thing.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
I know. There is a new Expanse comic coming too, which I actually they did a Kickstarter campaign for the Expanse comic, and I actually kickstarted it. I was part of the Kickstarter campaign for that because I love the Expanse. So
we may be able to deploy subspace
it is
probes
kind of
around.
yeah. Now that I think about it, where's my jetpack? This is kind of a similar plot to the Expanse, with the Federation kind of being equivalent to Earth in the Expanse, though Earth is a little bit more not so great in that show, and then the Euclideans being, I guess, it's not an exact one for one, but I guess the Euclideans are kind of close to Mars, and then the Hotari are closer to the Belters, kind of. There's a slightly different dynamics, like the Euclideans feel more capitalist, whereas Martians were more militaristic nationalist. Which not to say the Euclideans aren't that, but the vibes are just slightly different. The dynamics are similar. The vibes are slightly different.
The ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Ha! He's so excited. I'll prep a shuttle. I get to do a shuttle thing. The scientific method. We're doing science shit. Oh, well, Cappuccino Crafts, if you don't come back to the stream, it was good seeing you, my friend. Sending you love.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Alright, fly the shuttle to your objective to complete a mission. R2 to fly forward, our turn. Strafe. Okay. Forward, backwards, strafe, and then turn. Okay, got it. Whee! Oh my god, I get to play a shuttle. This is so dumb! This is dumb Star Trek bullshit and I love it!
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings.
Who doesn't love Star Trek bullshit?
Warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
This just makes my day!
Mr. Diaz,
it's stupid, but I love it!
Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Oh, I will joyride the shit out of this!
Chovak probably isn't such a fun...
I'm driving a shuttle! I'm driving a shuttle and having personal conversations. This is so Star Trek.
That's a very mature answer. Shows a positive attitude on your part. Remind me of it when I start complaining to you about the ship's new first officer.
Oh, yeah, it's because you're just a douchey piece of shit. Why are you complaining about the first officer? Dang. I do not like this dude. He's a jerk. I know this is like not that exciting. It's just like, oh, I'm just slowly driving through asteroids, but it's just Star Trek nonsense and it's the best.
This is far enough.
I just love inane Star Trek tasks.
This is far enough. Transporting the...
He does have jerk chin. He does have a jerk chin. That's a good way of putting it, that he does have jerk chin.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge.
Why? He has like a permanent scowl.
On the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick.
Maybe because she judges the situation and it's not about your ego!
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO.
But you're saying there's something wrong with the new XO.
even if we don't see eye to eye.
Maybe it's not about you.
She didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one so long.
Wow, I could be real offensive here. Dang, she's an outsider. No, he's like, give her a chance. Jeez.
Well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Aw, Josh, I hope you're doing okay, my friend. Whoa! Well, that was weird.
All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of
Oh,
space.
you know.
Just we need to get another probe
just
out
those
there.
pure problems with the fabric of space. You know you have those problems with the fabric of space, you know.
With 2
it's just a Tuesday in Star Trek
Resolute
land.
and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there.
Alright, right through this asteroid.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. And don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first.
Oh, so that's why you're pissed off, because you didn't get the promotion. Got it.
What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
I appreciate the advice, Commander. I'll make sure
He's just
keep my options
jealous.
open.
Aw, happy Pride to you too, Jimmy. Sending you love, my friend. Sending you love. I adore you. Be well to you as
Tell you how to
well.
operate. You're already well on your way. You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up the good work. And who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am.
You must be a glutton for punishment. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has been known to take decades to warm up to people.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like this dude is the kind of dude who you're just gonna sit with for a while. He's just gonna be like, I don't like those kind of people, you know? Yeah, they're getting ahead. Yeah, exactly. The affirmative action thing is like, oh, she just got her job because of like her being a Euclidean or whatever.
Here.
I'm like,
This is
ooh,
close enough.
okay.
Stop the engines.
It's just what you say. That's just one of those conversations. You're just like, sounds good.
Deploying the probe.
Thanks, buddy. When do we get back to the ship? Oh, look at the time. Time to go back.
Westbrook to Commander Chovak.
Yeah, I do not
We're
like
ready
this
for
dude
another
at
sampling
all.
of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
Yay! I like triangulating manually. Oh. What do I do? Okay.
We got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
I see some Star Trek and name tasks. Oh, there's one. And then There we go.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Interesting.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally.
Oh.
I don't know how they're doing
shit.
This is like nothing I've ever seen.
Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
Interesting.
Now, look here. It's current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations. They line up with the interference pattern. The storm. And this beam. They're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict.
Aw, thank you very much, Dean. I do
just a
like my
small
new
part of
look.
Something much bigger.
Oh, shoot. Oh, gotta love the little heart noise there.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. But one thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back
It's
on
a Section
board.
31 conspiracy.
Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the Moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Elydians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Elydians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative...
Bet you the Elydians were working on some sort of weapon, and the Hotari in the mines found out about it, seized the means of production, and now have access to the weapons, and the heroes of the mine are like using it to sort of gain personal glory and advantage instead of just caring for their people. Even though they probably do have some inclinations that they want to help with the Hotari, but they are probably a little bit more in for personal glory rather than helping the Hotari, and that's why they're targeting the Federation ship, because they kind of want to be like, yeah, we're the winners or whatever. And so the thing that's going to happen here, this is just my guess, is that we're going to go and find this weapon, we're going to face off against these Hotari, like the individuals who led the revolution, and we're going to end up having to choose, like, well, the Euclideans are going to be like, well, look, they did the bad things, they were using this weapon against you, wasn't that bad? And then we have to be like, well, number one, you made the weapons, they were just using it. Number two, just because they did some bad stuff doesn't mean that the Hotari's point of view is bad, and maybe you shouldn't be oppressors. And then the game will let you probably decide whether you side with the oppressors or the Hotari, and I'll be like, no, just because these people were douches does not mean the Hotari were wrong. That's my guess for how this game is going to be. And you can technically play it both sides, but hopefully the correct choice, quote unquote, as you know, as we sort of moralize about, you know, choices in life and sort of things like that, is to side with the Hotari overall. That is my, if I had to take bets on how to play, how this game is going to go, yeah, it's kind of, it's like Russian Revolution stuff, and like the revolutionaries are like Stalin or whatever, you know, where Stalin like took over and took it for his own personal glory as opposed to like actually caring about like workers' rights and stuff like that. So that's my guess is where they're gonna go with this story. It's sort of like a general idea, but I'm not. We'll sort of see how it all shakes out in the end. But that's my general vibes for how this story is going.
But they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
Out of all of them, she's the one who seemed to genuinely appreciate that the Federation was involved. She believes in us. And I think we can believe in her.
Hey, every fairy dice, good to see you. Oh.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Sidron was very curious when we spoke outside the Queen's chamber. He wanted to know all about us.
Yeah, I'm thinking the revolutionary miner dudes want war because they want glory, and not actually to free their people, but they just want glory. That's my guess.
I don't think
the Hotari don't want war, but the revolutionary miner dudes
said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harness the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Elydians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari.
Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
My bestie! I'm going to talk with my bestie.
Galvin and Citron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I love this like self-cam tricorder nonsense. It's kind of fun.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on
Exactly, Lewis. Succinctly, they don't want the revolution. They want to be the hero. Exactly, Lewis. That's the analysis. Yeah.
Is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Yeah, right. It is a weird angle.
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It was hard to tell.
We have to help her. Send another shuttle.
We're not doing anything yet. Not until we know more.
If we put her in that position, we owe it to her to help her.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
Reminds me of like the equivalency there would be like just immediately off the top of my head, like the Afghani people that I guess it would be Afghanistan. The negotiators that America hired in Afghanistan, and then when we pulled out of Afghanistan, we just like abandoned them and gave them no help. And then so there's all these people that are like hated now in Afghanistan because, or at least by the people in charge, because they like worked with America, and then America's just like, well, you go and deal it on your own, leaving them in actual danger. So no, you actually like, if you're going to put someone in that situation, you actually fucking better follow through and protect them. So I really hope that's where that goes.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key.
What I said, I meant translators. I said negotiators. I meant translators.
Then we have to go into.
Hey, Textrick, good to see you, my friend. Sending you love.
We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party.
Good to see you, my friend.
However,
I saw that you were streaming this game too, by the way.
The Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a different...
Oh, this is an interesting one.
Position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough, at least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption and targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
Interesting. I'm finding this game interesting. I'm really hoping it doesn't both sides it, or like say the Hotari, or like villainize the Hotari overall. But I am so far.
Negotiating team shuttle has been
I like this
data
game
all the way back from Hotari.
We'll see how I end up feeling by the end of it.
Than our pros.
But I like it so far.
So pull this.
I think, though, I am going to pause there because I need to take a shower and take a little bit of a break. So I will definitely be streaming more of this game, everybody. But I think I'm going to wrap out the stream here for the evening because I've been going for about 2 hours. And I still need to take a shower and clean up and do some stuff. So I'm going to wrap out here. But everybody, don't worry, I will be streaming more. Heart to everybody. No video this week, but I will say I will be... my next video is probably not going to be until for another 2 weeks because I'm working on one. I have a bunch of big videos going on. I'm going down to about a video a month at this point. So there will be a video this month that I'm working on. My big Star Wars one's coming next week, and yeah, I have to do a video a month at this point because like if I start doing too many videos, I'm gonna burn out because of identities and everything going on right now there. But be on the lookout. There will be a video coming. I have an announcement tomorrow about our final cast member for Identities, which half of you probably already guessed if you were here at the beginning of the stream, but you'll see who this person is tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, video in a couple weeks, but I'll stream probably over the next few weeks at some point. All of you, love you all. Mwah. I appreciate you all, and you all are wonderful and amazing. And I send you all love, and have a happy Pride. And I will see you all. I will see you all probably later this week or next week, and I'll stream some more of this game. So love y'all. Take care. Mwah, and adore y'all.